Welcome to History with Master Squishies. In today's video, we'll be covering the history of the M22, we'll be going over who made it, the design, what nations used it, some of the battles it took place in, and how it performs in-game. To start off, the M22 was an American light airborne tank designed by the Marmon Harrington Company and was designated Light Tank T9. The first prototype was made in May 1941, and it was designed to fit under the Douglas C-54 Skymaster, inside the Fairchild C-82 Packet, and it could also fit inside the British General Aircraft Hamilcar glider. The T-9 was revised, and two new prototypes were made, with one being sent to the British. This led to the British ordering the T-9, but production didn't start until April 1943. By late 1944, it was given the designation of M22 and the British nickname Locust. The British ordered around 1900 M22s, but after use it was terminated with only 830 ever being produced, and 260 were shipped to Britain under the Lend-Lease Act. The British requested the M22 for use within their airborne divisions by having the M22 land by glider behind enemy lines to take strategic points. The M22 would also replace the older Mark 7 Tetrarch within the British Airborne for a short time in 1943. Then the Mark 7 Tetrarch would come back in the same year, and by 1944, the M22 yet again replaced the Tetrarch for good. The M22 was equipped with a single turret mounted with a 37mm M6 gun and a secondary M1919A4 Browning machine gun. It had a maximum of 25.4mm of armor and a minimum of 9.5mm of armor. It had a crew of 3, a weight of 7.4 tons, a length of 3.94 meters or 12.11 feet, a width of 2.16 meters or 17.1 feet, and a height of 1.85 meters or 6.1 feet. It also had a max speed of 40 miles per hour. As far as I can find, this was the first American airborne tank ever made and produced, but if anyone knows of a tank made before that from America, let me know. Next, we'll move on to its operational history. The M22 was used by Britain, Belgium, and Egypt, but from what I can find, it wasn't used by the Americans in combat. The operational history is a bit strange. In 1943, the British 6th Airborne Division was supposed to use the M22 in Operation Tonga, but it was switched for the Mark 7 Tetrarch. In 1945, the 6th Airborne Division used 8 M22s during Operation Varsity, where they were deployed using Hamilcar gliders. During their landing, one glider broke away and fell apart, leading to the M22 inside to crash into the ground. 3 other gliders came under heavy German flak, leading to one glider crashing and the M22 suffering a damaged machine gun, but still being operational. One glider crashing into a house, causing its radio and main gun to suffer heavy damage, leaving it inoperable, and the last glider lost its payload mid-flight, leading to the M22 to land and flip onto its turret, rendering it useless. 6 M22s did make it to the landing zone, but several suffered significant damage, with 2 not reaching the chosen rendezvous point. One undamaged M22 came to the aid of an American paratrooper group under German fire, but it was swiftly knocked out by a German self-propelled gun, killing 1 crew member and wounding the remaining 2. And the second M22 broke down while attempting to tow a jeep out of a crashed glider. With the remaining 4 M22s, only 2 were undamaged and fully fit for action. Of the 4, the 2 fully operational M22s took the high ground, while the 2 damaged ones laid covering fire. The 2 undamaged M22s came under German fire, leading them to require infantry support, thus causing their presence to attract artillery and anti-tank fire. Neither tank were hit during the engagement, but the infantry suffered numerous casualties and wounded, which after several hours, the tanks and infantry was forced to withdraw. The 4 M22s and the remaining infantry formed a defensive zone and repelled German attacks until they were relieved by the 44th Royal Tank Regiment and the remaining 6th Airborne Armored Reconnaissance Regiment. Operation Varsity was the only time the M22 Locust was used by the British, and it was considered obsolete. The British then sent a small number of M22s to the Belgian army, some found their way back to the US, and a large number of M22s were used by the Egyptians in 1948 during the Arab-Israeli War. Finally, we'll move on to how it performs in War Thunder versus how it performed realistically. The M22 in War Thunder is almost perfect to its real-life counterpart. The armor is the same at a maximum of 25.4 millimeters and a minimum of 9.5 millimeters. Its speed is 34.7 miles per hour instead of it being 40 miles per hour. The main gun is right with it being a M6 37mm gun, and the secondary is also right with it being a M1919 A4 Browning machine gun. All in all, the M22 is really well made in-game, though I would like to see the speed increase to the 40 miles per hour just to make it a little more realistic. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else that needs to be changed in my opinion. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, squish that like button, subscribe, and let me know what you want to hear about next. I'll see you in the next one.